Can't say we paid rapt attention to that game, but it was pretty good to see Gary get some shots in.
What did you say before
I
that?
didn't pay really rapt attention to that game, but see Gary get some shots in.
I don't believe that for a second, Doug, first of all. It's all right. I think that, that certainly had to be one of the main goals other than winning was to get Gary untracked, and he came out ready to go and got a bunch of good looks and good job. And I thought Precious, played with his rebounding, played with good energy as well. Malachi, I thought, was very good today, really just solid and fast out there. I thought he really kind of pushed the tempo a little bit. A couple of those other guys, it was nice to see Will Barton make a few shots as well. So, not bad.
As you go into a one-and-done game, do you go into the premise that you're short in the rotation and you need like 8 guys to play a lot, or do you leave it open to what sort of happens that night?
I think we got to consider that, Doug, shortening it down a little bit. But I think it's always, it's always a little bit how the game's going, that what's going to affect that as well, right? You never quite know how it's going to go, and we certainly would like, you got foul trouble, you got other things like that could happen that affects the rotation. But I think the premise going in is, your guys, it's you gotta play your best guys as much as they can handle, really.
After a tough season like that, how tough do you think it's going to be to kind of turn the page? Do you go into Wednesday preaching blank slate sort of mindset?
I guess so. I guess what just happened, we are where we are right now, right? And what happened doesn't really matter much if we can, win a couple.
Nick, OG's had a pretty incredible year. He's going to finish the season as the NBA steals leader.
Yep.
Sort of what can you say about his development on that side of the ball, and just the team mentality for creating more possessions?
Yeah, I think that I probably would like to start with the first thing I'd like to say is I think he really responded well to some adversity this season, first and foremost. I thought once the trade deadline passed, he really did a really professional job of playing very well, both sides of the ball. I think he started shooting and scoring better, but he really had some, we've talked about this a lot, he's had some really tough defensive assignments night after night after night, and the steals thing is kind of a unique thing for him. I think he really can dart into a passing lane at any moment, and he's a pretty big body and player to do that, right? Usually those guys are smaller, quicker guys, really, that just are in the mix for that stuff. So that's kind of unique. But as we've talked about many times, he's really guarded literally every position and had some nights where he's given some really, really good players a tough time out there. So, I hope that he gets recognized for that. I can't see who else does what he does defensively in the league, positionally, and does such a good job on it.
And obviously, to lead the league in steals and to be in the running for that, you have to be out there enough to do that. Considering some of the things he's dealt with over the years, how nice was it to see, kind of outside of that one stretch of missed games, the availability, the durability this year?
It was really nice to see, first of all, right? I think that's, he's got to put that in his body of work to have a season like that. But I would also comment on this. I don't think he felt, there was a long stretch where he wasn't near 100%, right? I think we've talked about that. Affected his shooting. We had two different wrist problems for a good long stretch there. So, and he played through it, right? I think that's important. You gotta, they always say nobody's ever 100% once you get into the grind of it, and you got to play through some of that stuff. And he did a good job with that this year.
Coach, just in general, the team led the NBA in steals and set a franchise record for most steals in a season. How important was the steal to your defensive schemes this year?
Well, I think that just kind of from a starting point of what we want to play like, I would say being aggressive is one, is right up there, right? Being aggressive, ball pressure, et cetera. So, I mean, that's something that we emphasize, and it's good to see it, when you sit down and say, well, how are we going to play? And this is one thing we can do well, and to do it over the course of 82 games, means there was a lot of good effort and energy and a lot of good pressure and aggressiveness out there. Yeah.
I apologize if this was asked before I walked in here, but is it tough on a coach to sit a guy like Thad Young out for 14 games in a row to end the season under the circumstances that you're doing it? Yeah,
it is. It is. Listen, I've said this many times. It's a super, class person, right? Super pro. Really got a lot of, got a lot of time for him as what he's doing, and he's still, like, to this day, we're up in our walkthrough today, and he's up there walking through with some of the guys, some of the cuts they need to make and some of the places they need to start, and he's still, doing that. I mean, it's not. That's always, you always want guys to play more. It's like one of the hardest part of the job is figuring out who you're going to put on the floor, and you always want the guys that go out there to play well, etc. But yeah, it is.
It's tough to read too much into a game like this, but after 3 years, what do you know about Malachi Flynn, and where is he in your eyes sort of moving forward?
Well, I think that he certainly played good today, right? And he was in some long stretches of the rotation this year as well. And listen, I thought he played with good speed and energy, and I really liked the way he moved his feet defensively today. I thought he cut off a lot of drives, et cetera. I mean, and he can shoot the ball. We've talked about him being a little bit streaky, but a lot of guys are streaky, so it's kind of some nights when he really feels it offensively and some nights he doesn't. Obviously he looks a lot better on the nights he does, right? But and you just never know, right? I mean, who would have thought going into last year's playoff that he would have been he was playing every game last year in the playoffs, so you just never know.
Scottie, congratulations on a good season. Where do you think you are as a player today as opposed to where you were when this year began?
I would say, as a player, I feel like I know the ways on how I want to score the ball and things like that. I feel like that's what I really figured out throughout the season.
You were saying before the game that turning you into a more consistent jump shooter is a goal because it opens up so many other things for your game. Do you feel that way, and where do you see yourself going in that progression?
I feel like that's in anybody's game. If you make shots and make more jump shots, I feel like it opens up everything. Being able to, now they got to watch the jump shot now. You get free, easy baskets to the rim, open lanes.
You start talking about taking more. Do you feel you need to take more, or do you want to take more, or it seems to be out of your character too, but...
If I'm open, I'll shoot it. Just depends on the timing and situation of the game. However the game goes, that's how I really take it. I just play as the way the game goes, and and try to insert myself in different ways.
Scottie, how would you say you're a different player this year than you were this time last year, like here in the Bucks?
Say it again.
How would you say you're a different player this year than you were this time last year?
I don't really know. I don't know if I'm super different. I do the same things. Just I say I do some things a little bit better now. But I feel like I'm still the same player. I just do things a little bit better.
I know your passing numbers are good, your assist numbers are good, turnovers didn't move at all. Is that just because you're seeing the game a little different, or just there's passes you recognize that maybe you didn't see as easily last year, or just more touches? What might it be?
Yeah, probably I would say just being in those playmaking spots a little bit more. Being able to have the ball at the top of the key, running the offense a little bit more. So being able to have that playmaking decisions, being in that spot a little bit more.
After such a tough season, Do you have to almost go into Wednesday with a blank slate and kind of turn the page? And if so, how difficult is that to do?
I feel like we've been playing a little bit better. So just taking our defensive principles and being able to just go out there and really guard. I feel like we just got to go out there, be us, stay together, and just be ready to guard those guys, get continuous stops, and being able to play into our pace.
One of the things that Nick has talked about over the last few weeks in terms of the goal of getting into the play-in and then getting into the playoffs is getting more reps and experience for the young players and you in particular. How much are you looking forward to getting more of those reps, and how much do you think that's going to help in your development?
As in what?
More high leverage game experience, play-in, playoff games like that.
I feel like that's me as a player. I feel like that's where I excel. I love the competition. I love those big hype games. I feel like that's where I excel. I feel like I'm really hyped for those, and I'm come ready to play when that time is.
How are you feeling physically after the grind of your second season?
I feel pretty good right now. My body feels great. Had some injuries, got rid of those, and I feel like my body just feels great. Mentally, I'm at a good point. So everything's good.
Scottie, how did this game help you prepare for Wednesday's play-in? Because you can't really work on team chemistry with Pascal and Fred and OG resting. How did it help you prepare today?
Just being able to just try to stay in the rhythm. I feel like that was the most important part. Being able to stay in the rhythm, get some movement going. That was just the main key.
Precious, how important was today's game in terms of preparing for Wednesday's play-in, especially when you have big names like Fred and OG and Pascal resting?
It's important. Just the rest of the guys just go out there, get a run in, staying ready, and we understand what's the task ahead and how we got to stay ready and prepare for it.
You had a double-double in today's game. How did you personally feel about your performance?
It's just going out there playing. It was nothing crazy. Just, like I said, just playing and staying ready for the next couple games ahead.
After everything that's gone on this season, do you guys have to kind of turn the page and go into Wednesday with a blank slate just in terms of mentality? And if so, how difficult is that?
It's postseason. It's called postseason for a reason. It's a whole different season. So we got to go in there on Wednesday, just be more locked in to the details and understand what's at hand. And we just got to do what we got to do. Come out, play really hard, play tough, and do all the right things.
Where do you see Scottie being a different player today than he was Game 82 last year?
He's improved a ton. His passing ability, I think he took a huge jump this year, and just being able to facilitate and stuff like that. He's an amazing player. Does play the game the right way and plays hard.
What do you think of his 360 dunk and a lot of dunks?
I think that's becoming his signature. I gotta tell him he gotta start doing something else. First 2 times was cool. It's still cool though. It's still cool.
You said you're the best dunker on the team.
I don't think so. If he keeps doing trick dunks like that, then I ain't even do one yet this year. So, I don't know. So yeah, he probably got it right now for sure.
What kind of years have been for you? You missed all those weeks with the injury and with a setback. How's it been?
It's been a lot of up and downs, injuries, a lot of things, It's just stay playing, playing, come in here, do what I got to do, staying consistent, being a professional, come in, just do my job.
Is it hard? Because I guess this is the first year you would have missed, 7 weeks from the season? Is it hard to maintain the mental focus, the mental steadiness you need?
It's not easy for anyone. I don't think it is. It's just understand what the task is at hand. Like I said, being professional. Whether it's difficult or not, it's just I gotta come in every day. Understand that I got a job to do, just like everyone else, and just trying to do my job to the best of my ability.
Unrelated, a lot of love for Udonis Haslem today with him.
Oh, that's my guy. Yeah. I was going to hit him up after the game.
To you, what kind of vet was he?
Amazing, vet, basketball player. Person, way better person than he is a basketball player. It's not taken away from, his career, of course, championships, but a great guy, he's overall an amazing person, and just being able to see, what he's accomplished, and today being a very special day for him, and I think the NBA as a whole is amazing.
Versus what kind of mentality you guys need to show on Wednesday?
Like I said, we just got to come in, play tough, play together, play the right way, and I think we'll be in good shape. Then we'll knock that one off. We got another one to go handle business, and then the real postseason is going to begin.
OG led the league in steals this year. Do you think he's in
Defensive Player of the Year?
All defense team, I guess.
Absolutely, no question. Amazing, got multiple positions. The way he plays defense, his instincts. With when he's guarding someone or when he's playing off ball, it's crazy.
Getting back to you for a sec, the game itself today. I mean, everything had been decided. Everybody knew where everybody was playing, where you were headed. But was this game important for you? And if so, why was today important?
Just still finding my rhythm, the men. Just going out there, understanding that we have an important next couple of games coming up, and just being able to stay as sharp as I can, for those next couple of games.
Being professional, treating it like a job. For a sport that a lot of people
It is
view
a
as,
job.
Yeah, totally. A lot of people view it as entertainment.
It is entertainment.
Actually, what is that like, coming from somebody who started out playing basketball for fun, doing something that isn't traditional for most people in the world, and kind of approaching it like a job, even though the results aren't something that you can control every time, like a lot of other jobs like that we work or something like that?
I mean, I like my job. I don't know if you like your job, but I love my job. Playing basketball is fun for me. It's a hobby. Again, being able to play basketball and also like being able to do your hobby, and your hobby is also your job, is amazing. And I never change it, or for anything, no other thing in the world. But like you said, at the end of the day, playing basketball before was just something that I did as a hobby. Now I'm a professional at my hobby, so I gotta come in every day and be professional at what I do.
All right, how did today feel? Obviously, end of the season now. You got a big opportunity out there tonight. Made the most of it. How did it feel?
It felt good. Just trying to get some momentum going into the play-in. Really, just go out there, play. Last game of the year didn't really mean nothing as far as standing wise, but for everybody out there, it definitely meant something. So it was good to get a win.
When you think about the playing situation and just where the Raptors are at, what's the biggest focus? Because obviously DeMar and the Bulls, DeMar's probably going to be playing with a little extra energy against the Raptors, his former team.
It's win or go home. So at this point, you just got to lock in. With knowing that, you just got to play with a little sense of urgency, be locked in on both ends of the floor, and then get those 2 wins and then go from there.
What stands out to you exactly about the Bulls? Are they a physical team, a defensive team?
Yeah, they got 2 guys that can score, obviously with Levine and DeRozan. But I think they definitely got some weaknesses, some strengths, just like we do. But I think we match up with them well too, so it'll be a good game.
Awesome.
Thanks.